Hello, everyone. I want to thank you for having me here this afternoon and for the opportunity to speak about this important issue in front of all of you. I wanted to give a special thanks to Judy Thompson. I appreciate your invitation, and I want to thank you for providing me with this platform. I also wanted to thank Becky Nix, Emmy Harkinski, and Paul Nestor for all their hard work in getting me ready for the panel. My name is Arden Pala. I'm a 13-year-old San Diegan who goes to Francis Parker Middle School. One of my passions outside of playing basketball and hanging out with my friends is to give back to the community. I grew up volunteering for shelters, cleanup crews, and the San Diego Rescue Mission. I am very grateful to my parents for giving me all these opportunities to give back, and I couldn't have done anything I've done today without them. They helped me and supported me for everything I do, and I wanted to thank them for that. The reason I'm here today is to address the homeless issues in San Diego and to talk to you about some of my initiatives. During this speech, I'll talk to you about my books, my documentary, and lastly, my nonprofit, Sports for All, which all have a common mission: to give back to those in need. I first started volunteering when I was around the age of 4, mainly with Interfaith Community Services. Interfaith is one of the many organizations working towards solving this homeless issue. It's estimated that Interfaith shelters around 250 people every season, and many of these people have been able to find stable employment and housing after the program. While I was doing dinner servings, I had the chance to talk to people who were living in the shelters. When I asked them, they told me about how life was like living on the streets and some of the struggles they had to go through along the way. One person in particular told me about how he had to learn to manage food and survive under the harsh conditions that were given to him. This made me feel awful, knowing that more than 4,000 individuals go through this every day in San Diego. As I got older, I also participated in my brother's not-for-profit organization, Kids for Community, which focused on getting youth involved in community work. Some other initiatives included dinner servings, food drives, and disaster relief events. This was the start of my passion for giving back. As I started getting more involved with volunteering, I wanted to see if there was a way for me to combine my interest in writing and my passion for giving back. So, around the age of 8, I decided to write a book and donate all the funds to Interfaith and the COVID Response Fund. My books were about a young kid named Noah who discovers a flying car in his backyard and visits various countries throughout the book series. After finishing and publishing 3 books, I had the chance to go to local low-income schools to read and donate my books to the kids. When the pandemic hit, I wasn't able to volunteer the way I used to. In a way, I felt like I needed to do something to continue to give back to the community and to continue to shine light on this homeless issue. I always had a small interest in recording videos and directing. So, during the pandemic, I made a short 10-minute documentary which focused on the homelessness in San Diego to bring some more awareness towards the problem. I wanted this documentary to share with the world a bit of my personal experience, as well as share some of the stories the homeless population here in San Diego told me. I came up with a list of all the things I wanted to cover in the documentary, which I used for editing and my interviews later on in the making process. There was a lot of positive feedback regarding the documentary, and I'm very pleased on how it turned out. There were 19 different film festivals that I was invited to, and I won 6 awards, including the SoCal Film Festival Award and the Film Festival LA Award. Thank you. I'm very happy about the exposure the documentary has had, and I feel that it succeeded in bringing some more face towards the homeless issue. My documentary focused on showing the challenges people experiencing homelessness go through, and how an average person like you and me can help stop homelessness. I was lucky enough to interview people like Robert Constantino, who escaped homelessness through Interfaith, and who is now the CEO and founder of Balloon Guru. I also got to interview Greg Angel, CEO of Interfaith, who spoke about some of his thoughts and opinions on the homeless issue here in San Diego. For this group, I created a short trailer, and I wanted to share with you to give you a quick look at the documentary.
San Diego has the 5th largest homeless population in the country, estimated to about 8,000 people that are experiencing homelessness. Let's face it, when we drive by a stoplight and see someone homeless holding a sign, we usually ignore them. However, those people have a story, and most of the time, it isn't their fault. You need a job to get an address, and an address to get a job. So it's hard getting back on your feet once you're homeless. I interviewed many people that have experienced being homeless and people that are working to help stop homelessness. I know that it takes a lot more just to give someone homeless $1 on the street. That's why I made this documentary. Because we all make mistakes, and some mistakes are bigger than others. And usually when we make a mistake, our parents or guardians are there to help us. But most of these people that are homeless don't have someone to help them out when they make a mistake. That's why I believe that the homeless community should be able to have second chances and that they are given help. Here are some of their stories. How did this happen?
My home was a car for about 5 years. Well, a battle buddy, former Marine, who recognized me and knew who I was, just happened to ask me when I went to go get something to eat, and he goes, "Do you have a place?" I said, "No." He says, he mentioned about Interfaith, the Veterans Services Housing Program.
Well, it was a very lonely existence. It's been some time now, but it seems like it's been 15 years since I was homeless. But in a lot of ways, it seems like it was just yesterday. And I remember getting these little glimpses of normal life, like maybe a dad coming out in his bathrobe to pick up a newspaper off his lawn, or a mom getting her kids ready to go to a soccer practice.
So every situation is different. It's often, though, multiple problems that happen together. So it's usually not just somebody who lost their job and became homeless.
How can the average person help stop homelessness?
First thing we could do is we could start acknowledging the homeless folks in our communities as human beings who, are that have the dignity that is inside every one of us as human beings.
Well, now that we pretty much have a control, there are organizations. We have very good, outstanding, just reputable organizations that will bend over backwards to, by any means necessary, resolve this.
My time spent with the homeless and the organizations that support them gives me hope. Anyone given a second chance is given an opportunity, a way to move forward.
Well, I have a balloon decorating and delivery company, and I had the idea way back in the 80s when I was first introduced to the world of balloons. And once I got sober and after I got the help I needed, I was able to channel my energies and focus on developing the company. It has done remarkably well. We are blessed to have a great crew working for us, and we've got a fleet of vans delivering, and we service the whole San Diego area, and I couldn't be happier about it.
I'm extremely impressed with the organizations that are right now working and pushing that envelope to demonstrate that it can be done. They have not stopped, they continue to push, and we will be the actual demonstrators of it is possible, it can be done, don't tell me it can't be. And usually someone that has no box, there's no sky's the limit, let's just do something about it and demonstrate that it can be done.
In the process of making the documentary, I interviewed a variety of people who have been given a second chance. All the people that I interviewed used the resources provided by their family and their community to get their way out of homelessness. When I present this project and other work that I do, I always start with the question of why. Why does this matter to me, and why should this matter to you? San Diego has the 5th highest homeless population in the country and is a topic we hear about a lot. From our newspapers to comments on social media, homelessness is a key issue for our city and something that needs to continue being addressed. A narrative we don't hear often about is the homeless children in our city. I learned very quickly that homelessness does not discriminate against the age of a person, and anyone can become homeless at any time. A recent report by San Diego Youth Services indicates that more than 1,500 homeless youth are living in the county of San Diego. What is most shocking is that this is higher than the population of veterans and families. San Diego Youth Services also acknowledges that counting this population is difficult because they're often hidden communities that don't have access to services like shelters. As we've all seen, life is tough right now for a lot of people, and some can get unlucky at the wrong time, which can affect a whole family. The solution to this problem, especially for kids, counts on people like us to provide the community with resources that can make all the difference for people. As a big basketball fan, I started to see that kids didn't always have the ability to play and fall in love with sports the same way I do. Sports is important for kids because it teaches them about winning and losing, which can be useful for them later on in high school and the rest of their lives. Sports also teaches kids about being fair and having sportsmanship. I wanted to do something to give everyone a chance to play sports and have a space where they could focus on something other than what's happening in their personal lives. Having worked with Perkins Elementary, a school that consists of many low-income kids, my parents and I reached out to the principal, Fernando Hernandez, to see if he was willing for us to have the program at the school. He was pleased about the offer, and he helped us find the kids for the program. The practices were every Wednesday for around 1 hour. We would do passing and dribbling drills often, and occasionally we would have a fun basketball game. When I would have basketball practice, I would always ask my coach about any fun drills or games I could incorporate into the program. And I later asked him if he wanted to come out and help me run the program. Coach Sebastian has been playing basketball for around 10 years and has done a lot of volunteering work before. He has a big heart, and the work he does helps the community in many ways. Once both of us started coming to the program, we caught the attention of more kids, and we were able to get around 25 to 30 students during every practice. While doing the program, I met various kids, including Abraham. Abraham is around the same age as me, and he had never really played any other sport before. But during practices, he came out of his comfort zone and played the sport for the first time. On the last day of school, we held a pizza party with a much larger group than we started with, and we celebrated all the things that we accomplished. Over the summer, Coach Sebastian and I came up with a more efficient and organized way to run the program. We created a new website for the organization and named it Sports for All. Our mission is to provide all youth with the opportunity to play sports, and where they can build physical and social skills that will serve them for a lifetime. During the school year, the kids would participate in multiple 8-week programs to help them get better at basketball. Throughout the program, the kids would take part in multiple basketball games and drills to help them get better at shooting, dribbling, and handling. We'll also focus on nutrition and games outside of basketball, like dodgeball. By the end of the program, we hope that the kids will develop the basic understanding of basketball. I think our first year was a huge success, and we're already planning ways to help grow the organization to reach more kids. Now, I've told you a bit why homelessness is important to me, but I want to share why it should be important to you and the rest of our community. San Diego has one of the best philanthropic communities and one of the biggest hearts of all the major cities in America. We care about each other here, and we want to see each other thrive. We are led by great organizations like the Rotary Club, and by even more incredible people like all of you Rotarians. Together, there's nothing we can't accomplish, and we can bring a brighter future for everyone who needs it. Throughout all my volunteering, I've learned one really important lesson. It takes a village to create the change we want to see. It's really hard to go far by yourself, but with the right people by your side, you can create a change you didn't even know was possible. As Sports for All goes into its new year, we're looking for more San Diego's finest to join us, with their time and their treasure to help us reach more kids. We hope to secure partnerships for donations, have more volunteers, and eventually work with other organizations doing similar work. Most importantly, we want to continue to send the message to the city that the youth can make a difference with their voice and their action. The future relies on young people getting involved and contributing to the communities, whether it's for this issue or for some other need. Again, thank you all for your time in this platform to talk to you about Sports for All and some of the initiatives I've done for homelessness. For all those interested, I brought a few of my books today for sale, with all the proceeds going to Sports for All. We're trying to buy some more equipment to help get more kids to participate. If there's one thing you can take away from this 13-year-old and take with you as you go on the rest of your day, your week, and the rest of your year, the next time you see someone homeless, try to think about the person they are and then about the situation they're going through. I think if you all did this a bit more, we could create so much more change and give people the hope they need to find help. Thank you. All right.